Somebody yesterday was talking to me about this thing called Lavender Marriages. Have you ever heard of that?
Well, I hadn't actually until the other day, when somebody was mentioning to me as well about it.
Okay.
Like years ago,
Something that's online, it's just kind of like trending a bit online, so maybe that's why.
Yeah. I think the kids at home are looking at something to do with it, but it's not something that's common here now at the moment, though, Paul. Like, I mean, it would have been like gay marriages or a marriage that would have been deemed unsuitable, maybe.
Yeah, so my understanding, it's people who are gay who are married to somebody that is not gay. So married to a straight person,
Right.
and they're covering up the fact that they're gay because it was unacceptable in society, certainly in Ireland, but in most countries, I think, up until recently enough.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose maybe 30 years, is it? I suppose.
I don't know.
20?
Senator David Norris was one of the people here in Ireland that was responsible for getting this on the agenda politically, and then Ireland, I think, was one of the first countries in the EU to bring in gay marriage.
Was it?
Yeah, I think Northern Ireland really trailed massively behind. I think they were way behind. So yeah, even though it wasn't gay marriage. It was decriminalising homosexuality. Gay marriage came in a referendum then in the 2000s.
Okay.
So it was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Jesus, is it only that?
Yeah. But so up until that, people would hide the fact that they were gay by marrying somebody who was straight, and even going to have kids.
I remember having a huge argument with my parents actually over this, because my parents would be, you know, they're in their 80s and that kind of thing now, late 80s, and they'd be staunch Catholics, Paul, do you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they do not agree with gay marriage or
Even
that
still.
gay people should be allowed to have children or adopt children. Their view would be that, you know, they need to have a mother and a father, and it should be in alignment with that. Now, I must ask them again, do they still believe that?
You see, it was a very Catholic thing.
It was,
because it's in the Bible. That book that was written by a guy who went up a mountain with a dog or a goat for 40 days and 40 nights, and then it became a bestseller. Yeah. Why people would use it as a template to live their lives modern day, I don't know. But some people do, and some people believe it literally, and if it says in the Bible you can't do it, even though
I swear, the
it
Christians
totally,
in America are like,
fundamentalists, yeah.
oh yeah. Extreme.
But it got me thinking then too, like that people, the idea of getting married for love is a very recent thing. People didn't always get married because of love. Sometimes it was a financial transaction.
I know, yeah. This is hilarious to do with Irish people, isn't it?
Well, it's not just
Like,
Irish
if you
people,
go back into our thing,
certainly.
like, he has a grand bit of land there now, you're going to marry him. And
Yeah. Or like my
get
farm
the
was
old
next
dowry.
to your farm, and
That's right.
and like there'd be
We'll
two dominant
amalgamate the
families.
families.
Yeah, two dominant families maybe in an area, and they'd have an alliance.
Yeah.
So one person from one family would marry the other. But this goes back even to kings.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have alliances with countries.
Yeah.
You know, the prince or the princess would go off and get married to the king of France, and then
The prince or the princess.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a slip there, Paul.
The prince of
Oh,
one
the
kingdom would
princess.
get married to the I know what you mean. But then it got me thinking then too, like, I think this is a daft idea for a reality TV show, Married at First Sight.
Oh, God. Well, I
think
don't
it's-
know that one.
Like, I was chatting to my sister about it, and she said, I think there's been only ever one relationship out of that's ever worked out.
Oh, my
And that's
God.
not surprising.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me either. I mean, if you look at, you know, some cultures, Indian cultures and that, and they do arrange marriages. And, you know, most of them do actually work out. Like, and they become very happy because their values are aligned.
But is it like Holy Catholic Ireland
know?
years ago? There was no divorce, there's no way out of it. So they have to work out.
Well, that's a bit different.
They
I
have to
suppose,
get you were stuck with something. You can't
Yeah.
get divorced and walk away.
Yeah, there are definitely, you know, some parts of the world where that still happens. But, you know, I think if you live in a European country or in, you know, a more modern country, then that is definitely different. You can walk out if you want to. But I can see the value in it. Do you know, like,
Yeah.
I suppose, I think my grandparents would have been disappointed with who my mother married, but she fell pregnant before they got married, which was a big scandal back in the 1930s or 40s.
Right,
I'd say
so
it
you
was.
have to get married to cover it up.
Oh yeah, there was a shotgun marriage, you know what I mean? But they were raging over that because they were big farmers up the north. They were wealthy, you know. And my father, God help him, had nothing. He didn't even have an education, God help him. I think he took out of school when he was only 7 to work on the farm because his dad died when he was in his early 40s, you know?
Yeah.
So, but look, I can see, I suppose, why an arranged marriage would work for a lot of families because their values are in alignment and all of that kind of thing. But
Do you know this other reality TV show where people are in a pod and they kind of date people through a screen?
yeah, well, that's one of my favourite
Why?
thing because it's just so easy to watch.
It's so mad.
It's just, these people show up, right? They don't see each other.
Right.
So there's 20 guys and 20 girls and they're all looking for love and marriage and to be able to meet the love of their life.
Like Love Island.
Yeah, without seeing each other and without all the sex.
Okay.
So it's the opposite of Love Island, nearly.
Right.
There's not a whole physical attraction thing.
You can't see the
first
person.
thing is you fall in love with the person for who they are. Yeah. I fucking love this because, like, watching them talking about different serious things and really getting into the crux of it. And then there's a big reveal where they see each other, you know?
Right.
I remember once, like, it's 2 people coming out, both very good looking people and all, but she did not fancy him at all.
Yeah,
and she was like,
doesn't that a kind of really buck
My
the
God.
trend or go against, like, when you, in nature,
yeah.
this goes in Ireland years ago, it would be, you would see somebody and you would think they look attractive. So, you can't judge a book by its cover, but if you don't like the cover, you're not going to read the book.
That's it.
So looks would be the initial thing
Attraction.
that starts the relationship if there's going to be a relationship.
Yeah.
But this reality thing then is like it's conversation. Why that's important. But yeah, if you meet the person then and they're both ugly,
Yeah.
and you think,
They're not
do you have to marry them then?
You don't have to know. No,
Oh, right,
you can
okay.
say no at any time. You can bow
right.
out. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And that has happened. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's gas. Like to see the way different things happen or the expression on people's faces. I think if I went into something like that, Paul, you'd know straight away. I couldn't hide it. Like my face, I'm so expressive. But yeah, they go off then on a honeymoon, and then the second stage is, they meet all the other people that they were dating.
Oh,
in
the
the
ones
pod.
that could have
That they could have ended
the ones
up
that-
with.
It's like blind date. It's like blind date. Do you remember blind
Yeah,
date? With
I
Black?
do. I used to love
back
that
in
when
the
I was
day.
growing up. And then the next thing, they meet each other's families, and there's all sorts of shit
Again, they
thrown
might
at them.
like, yeah.
And then they have 4 weeks only after they come out of the pods, I think, or something, to decide whether they're going to marry each other. So they go to the aisle, and then it's either when the
Oh, you
priest
can be left at
asks-
the altar.
Yes, that's the whole premise of the
Oh.
whole thing. So
That
you
is
get
cruel.
the wedding dress and the whole lot, and then you go up to the altar and they either say yes or no. I do or I don't. I do not take you.
And they
as
both
my
asked at the
husband.
same time because one could answer first and then the other one might give.
No, they're randomly asked, like, it could be him or it could be her that's asked first. And most of the time, the person who's asked first says I do, and the other person says I don't. It's like, oh God. Oh, it's a horrible situation. That's the tense moment in it all.
It's a horrible premise for a TV show.
But a good few of them have stayed married for years.
Have they?
And a couple of them have children and everything together, It's mad. It actually works out for some of them,
Yeah, well, I suppose you could say that people who do the conventional dating thing, I don't know what's the percentage of many marriages in Ireland end up in divorce or separation. I think it's something like maybe 1 in 3.
Yes.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
So maybe it's
anymore,
no better
actually.
nor worse than conventional dating.
Actually, yeah. Now that you mention it, it's probably the same.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
Should we go back to the arranged marriages, lads, or what do we do?
Like us, subscribe to us, talk to you soon.